things before they get started is we are doing everything we can. We want to catch these individuals or individual as soon as possible. The board members, I've been in contact with them. They told me that whatever I need, they'll take care of it and get it because they want this taken care of just as fast as we do and all you all do. So with that being said, one more thing, if something happens, you see something, you hear something, call 911. There's been some issues, people calling other people and then them calling us, call 911. It's gonna be your fastest response to get somebody else. So from that, I'll turn it over to Corporal Marco. Corporal Morrow and let him take away.
Hello, everybody. My name's Corporal Morrow. So on 2/18, you want to pull the next one? On 2/18, myself and Officer Lewis responded to an address at 311 South 5th Street, reference a canine that had been shot. Upon my arrival and Officer Lewis's arrival, the canine had already been transported to the animal hospital and was awaiting treatment. So while the animal was awaiting treatment, myself and Officer Lewis started an investigation and did an area search around the area that the dog was shot. What's the rest of it? So our first report came in and advised the canine had been shot in the neck while in the backyard. The canine was standing right by the back porch. It wasn't in anybody else's yard. It wasn't barking. It wasn't growling. There was nobody else around at the time. So around 6:58 p.m., the homeowners heard a yelp from the backyard, and at the point they ran out the back door and seen the blood trail leading up to the back stairs. The homeowner also stated that the dog was already on its way to the Jefferson Animal Hospital. Officer Lewis here contacted the Jefferson Animal Hospital to get possible x-rays expedited. Officer Lewis reviewed the x-rays and the Jefferson Animal Hospital confirmed it was a bullet. That bullet is presumed to be a .22 long rifle. It's a very small caliber, very fast caliber. Like I said, this was in her own backyard doing her own thing. There were children present, which is another issue that we're looking at. If it could have been a child, we would have been in a different situation. So shooting a firearm within town limits, especially at a canine, is not normal for what we have up here. We have a lot of canine issues. We understand that they get loose, but nothing like this. So Officer Lewis here talked to the Jefferson Animal Hospital. I'm gonna let him take it from there.
So when I contacted the animal hospital, at first they stated with the first two x-rays that they did, that when they first did them, it did look like some type of pellet. So whenever I contacted the animal hospital, they did state at first with the first two x-rays that it did look like some type of pellet from a pellet gun. Whenever they called me back and confirmed that it was a .22 long rifle, I reached back out to get the third x-ray that they did that confirmed it. So these are the first two x-rays I received. You can see where the bullet is lodged in the dog's neck, touching the vertebrae. Those are the first two x-rays I received. The third x-ray is what confirmed it. It kind of shows a different angle of the bullet. It's too wide to be a pellet. It's too thick to be a pellet. So that's where the vet got his determination and confirmed that it was a .22 long rifle. If you backtrack, these are some pictures of the backyard. The green dot is where the dog was standing. And from the projection of the bullet, they confirmed that it did not come at an angle. It did not come at any type of angle, came just straight. So with that, there's a privacy fence that backs up to the neighboring property. The red dot between the tree and the slide, that is where the bullet more than likely traveled from. We checked through the privacy fence. There's not a large enough gap. There's not a large enough hole for anyone to shoot through. So with that, we are under the assumption that whoever it was gained access to the actual backyard, and that's when they took it upon themselves to shoot. There's an entranceway. There's a back alley behind 5th Street. I'm pretty sure y'all know about it. There's a back alleyway that runs through there that backs up to a few other properties. that is where, whoever did it more likely came from. There's a bunch of wooded areas back there. There's three other houses. There's 3 other houses that have access to that trail. Anyone has access to it. It's wide open.
Sorry.
But, so there's an access trail that pretty much everyone in town has access to.
So you can tell where the person was that shot the
Yes,
gun?
the vet confirmed that the bullet did come straight. It didn't come at a sideways angle, it didn't come from an upward angle, it didn't come from any type of angle other than straight. This is the video. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it. But this is the video, this is a full 13-second clip. You can see the dog obviously hears something. And from looking at the video, this is how we determine where the shot came from. Because dogs, when they hear something, they look directly at it. They're very observant animals.
Please replay it.
Please replay it.
Or not.
Or not, yeah.
Or not, okay. So, from where the dog looked, that's how we determined where the shot came from.
And the dog was in the backyard.
Yes, the dog was in the backyard.
If you look to the right of the dog where it's sitting, that's the bottom of the steps that come up.
Yes, it was right next to, literally maybe.
So in this area right here,
There's the steps right
there's
there.
the steps, the dog is right here. This is a graphic video, so I'm gonna replay it. But as you can see, the dog looks
That
to the
one
back.
isn't big. Like it's-
Yeah, the dog looks towards the backyard, here's the bottom step right here. And at this time, somebody takes a shot right here and then hits the dog in the neck, which causes the dog to yelp and jump. And that would be the splatter of the blood trail that leads to the back stairs.
And then after he shot it, it's back to its left again. So
Yeah.
it definitely came.
Yeah, it definitely came from the backyard.
Yeah.
At this point in time, the homeowners
Yeah.
noticed the yelping.
The yard fence?
The yard is fenced just on one section.
Yes, it was. Okay.
There is access, I don't think we have a picture of the access, we don't have a aerial view or anything, but there is that little alleyway that runs between her house and another residence.
And then like the flood wall on the backside,
Yes.
that field.
May we assume you've not had any complaints from anyone about that dog?
We never.
Um,
She is new, she's right here in front.
And you never had, no one ever,
I didn't even know I had her.
So this dog that got shot has only been in town since Thursday of last week. This happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
The dog was only here for 4 days.
It was pretty dark then, wasn't it? Like,
It's a very
very
dark
dark.
time.
Got that.
So what we're trying to get at is that somebody took it upon themselves to come into their backyard on their side of the fence on private property and shoot a loaded firearm at a dog that was minding its own business. We thought at first this might have been an isolated incident, and then a day passed, and then we got this report. So this is from 2/20, it's 2 days later than 18th. So it says on 2/20/2024, Officer Lewis, Corporal Morrow, and myself notified about another incident involving another canine that had been poisoned with antifreeze. Officers responded and noticed antifreeze in and around the dog's bowl. The dog had been taken to a nearby animal hospital and diagnosed with acute antifreeze poisoning. The first update that we did receive about the dog is the dog went to documentation, was induced vomiting, was expected to make it, and then overnight a turn of events occurred, and now I guess they're probably gonna have to euthanize the dog.
Where this occur at?
Fifth Street, the same street.
Like, yeah, the next house over?
It was the dog that was in. It was a dog, I don't have a picture. There's a kennel right here, right up in this area, it was that.
Okay, I got you.
So
Yeah, I
which
got you.
neighbor was that?
It was the same property.
Same property, different dog.
Same property, different dogs.
oh,
Okay.
So upon our investigations, we've interviewed approximately 6 people. We've reviewed every camera footage we can possibly find around the neighborhood. If any of you all in here have camera footage from 5th Street, 4th Street, or Utica Sellersburg, around that area, please let us know, let us get a copy of that, let us review it from these 2 times and dates we've given. So upon reviewing a lot of the camera footage and talking to people who was in and around at the time, we do have one person on camera that was around the time of the shooting occurred that disappeared and came back after the shooting was over with. And then we have another one that has been hanging around 5th Street in the alley. So we're gonna go to that next. Our persons of interest, the first person of interest, we're not gonna name any names just yet until we get more evidence on the 2 people. But the first person of interest is an unnamed male seen around both the incidents at the time they occurred. Officer Lewis has been conducting interviews and investigations on the first person of interest. Any update with the case will be released to the public once more proper investigations are conducted and completed. Unfortunately, the second person we will not be able to name even if arrest has occurred because they are a minor still. The second person is a minor. Through tips and reports that we received from the police department and seen in the area around the time that occurred, is a 17-year-old. He's been spotted walking through the 5th Street alley at night, walking alone. The minor does have a prior conviction of shooting animals with fire.
Can I ask you this, is he local or is he visiting?
He
I heard there was another dog that got shot. Is that not true?
So that was the next thing. We have multiple unconfirmed reports that another dog had been shot earlier today or yesterday.
Yes, and if you see anything on anybody's Facebook page, don't take any, take it with a grain of salt. We will keep you all updated as much as we possibly can on the Utica Police Department. If it's not on our thing that another animal has been hurt or anything, it's on somebody else's, it has not been confirmed, and we are not gonna put anything out there that's not confirmed. So I've been asked 2 or 3 times today, did another animal get shot? No, not as far as we are aware of, but it was posted on Facebook, on somebody's Facebook page, and we got calls and everything about it. So if it's not on the Utica Police Department Facebook page, take it with a grain of salt until it gets posted on there. We will keep you all updated as much as we possibly can.
Thank you for doing it.
Another thing we want to stress is any animals that live on Fifth Street, please keep them up in the house if possible. If they have to go outside at night, watch them. We're not saying hover over and watch them 24/7, but if they go outside to use the bathroom, make sure that there's somebody out there with them. Keep watch on their food bowls, their water bowls. Any suspicious activity on 5th Street, 4th Street, or the alley that runs behind 5th, please let us know. There are multiple children that live on 5th Street. There's a bunch of them in here right now. And if a child is to be hit with any kind of intent of a shooting or anything, and it's gonna be a different story. There were 3 children at this home at the time of the shooting occurred, right inside the window. So if one of them were outside, this could have been a different story.
What kind of gun?
It was a 22 long rifle.
22 long.
Really?
Yeah. So small enough bullet to do some damage and not all that loud.
Have you interviewed the persons of interest?
We have interviewed one,
Which one? Can you tell us?
the person, not.
What about the 17-year-old? You haven't talked to him? Okay.
We're
What's,
just trying to find the verifiable address and then either parents or grandparents.
So you gotta actually find it.
So there's nothing we can do to help you in that regard?
Not with the 2 suspects, no, because if one of the
Unless it
persons.
shows up again.
Yeah, if one of the persons of interest is deemed innocent, then we don't want to put their name out there, and that way if they're not, everybody doesn't have a reason to go like, well, I think you did, so.
Yeah.
the minor suspect was visiting here,
Yes.
but he's not here anymore?
We're unsure. We have phone calls into some family relatives that are up here, and then another city. We're just waiting to hear back from them. So, at this time, I don't have anything else. Officer Lewis,
Frida. So this is Frida, if you haven't met her yet. She was the dog that was shot in the incident. She is in good spirits and good health, with the exception of the vet was not able to remove the bullet. The bullet is still in her. The reason they couldn't remove it is it's so close. Actually, it's touching.
It's touching her spine.
It's touching her.
hey, if you want to stand up and talk.
And she's.
No, she out 11.
So is that a problem?
She's a baby, she's still growing.
What's the deal? Maybe we can all get enough up to.
They're responsible for growing, but that's why she's has to face.
But if you want to talk for a second, talk about how that is, what happened, we're going to use the microphone on that.
So this is Frida. She's a 11-month-old Rottweiler. I just got out of the Marine Corps on the 5th of January. She is my service dog, to help with my PTSD. And to have her get shot, obviously, it upsets me quite a bit.
Yeah.
But as y'all can see, she's not acting like she's been shot. She's doing fine. She's on all sorts of medication. She gets them with cheese, so she doesn't really care. I had just let her out whenever I got back on Sunday night. And she had been out there for what, 5 minutes?
Not
even 5 minutes?
5-10 minutes.
I let her out, I hooked her up on the lead I have out there. I sat down and I heard her yelling.
You hear the shot?
No, it's too loud.
We had 3 kids in the house, we didn't hear anything. 3 babies. 3 babies and 3 dogs.
Wide open there.
I'm already hard of hearing as it is, so if I would have heard it, it had to have been pretty loud. And as you can tell, she's one of the most friendliest dogs I think I've ever had.
So with her, with that bullet being so close to her spine and being so young, as she ages, what did they say? Is that gonna move with it or move further or go into it?
So what I was
I know
told,
metal does something to your system too.
what I was told is at any point she could be paralyzed.
Because it moved wrong. Yeah. Okay.
So at any point she could become paralyzed and I would have to put her down because I'm not letting her live a paralyzed life. If there's any other questions, I'd go ahead and ask. So, I don't have a problem answering
How long have you been back?
Yeah, but wait.
How long have you been back in Utica? You said January the 6th is when you came back?
January 5th is when I got out of the Marine Corps.
And you lived in?
I stayed for about a month out in Palmyra with my buddy as I was getting situated. Getting out of the Marine Corps is kind of a very stressful process because they just kind of give you the boot. Good luck. And then I got a place down here.
Gotta get them. And you just got her Thursday?
No, I got her when I was in the Marine Corps. My therapist said that I needed to get a dog.
Right.
And she recommended getting a Rottweiler because they're very protective, very loyal. But she has only been here since Thursday.
Yes, that's what I was asking. She hadn't been here 3 days, 4 days maybe.
Is there any more questions for you guys?
The dog that got poisoned, is there any kind of fence or anything around that?
Yes, the dog that was poisoned is inside a fenced off area.
So they were able to get inside the fenced-in area and put the antifreeze?
So we went over there yesterday, we went over there last night, we looked around the fence, and we noticed some like leaves and stuff was, disturbed, they've been moved around. So we actually, got down and hunched over and was looking down there. And you can smell the antifreeze like they poured it through the fence. It was over the leaves, it was all over the fence. The dog bowl still smelled like it. It was all over, so.
It's also your dog. It's.
Is that Chris's dog scratching?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, Chris's
yes,
dog.
that's the landlord.
Oh.
Chris Wynn.
So she basically says this.
Oh, there was a lot on that cage.
And many of you know scratches, sweet dog.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody had to go through the fence just to poison the animal.
That's Chris's dog?
So at this point in time, whoever is involved in this is facing 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Little scrappy girl.
Yeah, 4.
So whoever is involved in the poisoning or the shooting of the animals is facing 4 felonies. So we're gonna do everything we can to find the person and arrest the person. And like I told the news earlier, when we find you, when we arrest you, you'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent that we're able to. If you have any more questions for the police department, now is the time to ask.
Yeah, Chief Danny, I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
What is the current hours right now that you have on the streets in terms of hours per day and days per week?
We've got, right now, we've got, morning times covered, because I come in, I work Monday through Friday, sometimes I'll come out Friday evening instead of Friday morning, I try to vary it up a little bit, but we've got, daytime covered, and then these gentlemen, like I said, they're reserves, they come out usually 2 or 3 times a week, one of them will be out, and another 2 or 3 times a week, another one that's specific. It's hard, they're volunteers.
I understand.
And they come out when they can, when they're not working.
Yeah, I understand. I don't mean against anything. I'm a big fan of the Blues, so I just wanted to,
But
I noticed while you're here, that Utica is a very small place and you cover a lot of ground and it's good to see you. And I see you guys. I live down the road, on the road, and I see y'all. I'm grateful to you. I was just curious about what your hours are and what your real support is.
The time that usually nobody is out is late or early morning, like from about 2 during the week, from about 2 to 4 or 5. So, because I usually try to get in here by 6 or a little bit after.
It's good to know them when you are on, you know.
But like I said, if anything happens, call 911 because we don't have a 24/7 police department. We're working on trying to get some more reserves in here. County will respond. So that's why I said, don't call somebody and have somebody try to get a hold of me or one of the other officers. Because if we're not on duty, I might be home in bed asleep. You wasted all that time instead of calling 911 and getting somebody out. And I'd rather you call 911 and it not be that big of an emergency than it'd be a big emergency and not come.
Can you still call Central?
Yeah, they do have a non-emergency number. If you need a police officer to come to the house to do a report or something, call the non-emergency. It all gets answered in the same place.
And at the time of the shooting, there were 2 officers present patrolling on the streets. That was myself and Officer Lewis. So,
If you all do not know Central's like non-emergency number,
Well, I knew there was an issue at once before about whether your cell phone was hooked to a 502 area or 182 or 812 number.
So the cell phone, the area code doesn't matter. It's whatever tower that the phone hangs on. Now, sometimes due to residents, it hangs on Kentucky Tower
Yes.
and Louisville will answer.
Okay,
And once you tell them you're in Utica, they'll transfer your call and it takes 2 seconds.
okay. So they've updated that because it used to be a problem.
Yeah, it's cell phone tower. Sometimes it'll ping the Louisville. But if y'all do need Central number, I
think
will
there'd be 7
post it on Facebook media after we get done.
Anything else from me? If you know anybody that, like I said, we're hiring for reserves. So. Yes, ma'am.
If the people in Utica know, can start watching to see if there was somebody walking, there wasn't anybody in a car? Is that what you're saying?
Which person?
Either or either one. Because I'm right behind there, that bullet could have come to me.
Right, I do.
They were on foot at the time.
One was on foot at the time, and it was in that area around the time of the shooting occurred.
also, one more, go ahead.
Scrappy's okay.
Is he okay?
Yeah, Scrappy's gonna be okay. She's on medication.
Okay.
And she's not, they're not gonna put her down.
We were told.
So I just found that out.
Okay, good. We were told this morning that she had part-time staying in.
Just one more thing in relation to all of this. Myself and Corporal Morrow last night were out on duty, and we were actually sitting in the alleyway that runs behind Fifth Street. We had a individual come up to us and state that someone had ran behind our car It was both times. It was like 11:30 at night, but someone had ran behind our car and into the woods from that property. Myself and Corporal Morrow did search the woods, and we did hear someone running. So we attempted to chase on foot. We made it all the way to Utica-Silsburg Road, and at that point, there was no one to be found. So just an update that even when we were still there, sitting in the alleyway, that someone still had the nerve and wasn't scared to run up behind our car. Just a little more information.
Now, I hear gunshots back that way. I live on 4th Street, and I have my window open all the time. I hear gunshots back that way on a regular basis.
Somebody's back there.
If we hear that, should we be calling if we hear gunshots?
Yeah, back there in the woods,
Yeah, and it sounds like it comes down to that corner down there.
yeah, if you hear gunshots, there's nothing wrong with whatsoever call.
It sounds like they're target practicing.
That's right down here on River Road.
No, I'm calling that over. No,
Every weekend, yeah.
Yeah, the only range down here is the one that, CCC closed.
No, I'm not talking about that. I live on
Trying to tell you, we live on 4th, so the gunshots are coming from behind the house where the dog lives.
Call 911. That's what I'm saying, there is no gun range down there.
We know that.
So call 911 if you hear gunshots.
Okay.
It seems like.
The only gun range in town is up on Upper Mercer Road where they go. That's fine. Shoot up there every weekend.
That's all y'all got, y'all have a safe trip home and have a nice day. We'll get this taken care of as soon as we can.